Right now at 10, officials in Pittsburgh identify the victim and suspect in a homicide in Pittsburgh on Saturday. Plus, a Fort Smith police officer is injured following a domestic situation. Also, we're taking you to an ice cream shop in Carterville honoring our local superheroes. And runners lined up this afternoon for the 38th annual Pumpkin Run in Carthage.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities have identified the victim in Saturday evening's homicide in Pittsburgh and say they have the suspect in custody. Yesterday, just before 6:30, officers were called to an apartment at 415 South Broadway in Pittsburgh after a person reported finding a woman laying on the floor of that apartment. The Pittsburgh Police Department has identified the victim as 18-year-old Jace Delich of Pittsburgh. Officials say Delich was shot with a handgun. Police say after reviewing surveillance footage in the area and speaking with witnesses, they identified 23-year-old Brian Baker of Tennessee as the suspect. Around midnight, Baker was located by police walking in the area of 16th and Joplin. Officials arrested Baker and after searching him, found a handgun. After questioning Baker, he was arrested for second-degree murder and is being held in the Crawford County Jail in lieu of a $1 million bond. One person is dead and another injured following a crash in the northern part of Crawford County. The accident around 6:30 last night 10 miles north of Kansas Highway 47 on U.S. Highway 69. According to the Kansas Highway Patrol, a car driven by 61-year-old Jeffrey Leroy of Pittsburgh crossed the center line and into the path of a car driven by 18-year-old Carter Edgecombe of Garnett. Both vehicles attempted to avoid each other and ended up crashing in the center of the roadway. Leroy died from his injuries. Edgecombe suffered minor injuries. A Friday night structure fire leaves a Baxter Springs firefighter with serious injuries. Fire crews were able to extinguish the fire at 14th and Lyons Road, but not before Baxter Springs firefighter Malachi Brown suffered third-degree burns on more than a quarter of his body. His wife posted an update on social media saying that Brown has been flown to a burn unit in Springfield where he's currently sedated and on a ventilator. She also says that while it's been a rough ride, her husband is stable and will undergo surgery and skin grafts tomorrow. A recovery timeline has not been established yet, but Malachi might be in the hospital until December. Physical therapy could follow after that, according to his wife. A Fort Smith officer is in surgery following a knife attack. Officials say at least 3 other people are dead following the early morning incident. Public Information Officer Ark Mitchell says the knife attack happened on the 2800 block of Tillis Avenue around 6:15 this morning. Mitchell says the officer fired his weapon in self-defense. Details about what led up to the officer firing his weapon have not been released. Neither the victims nor suspects in this case have been identified at this point. Arkansas State Police have taken over the investigation into the knife attack and the officer firing their weapon. Fall, absolutely gorgeous and a bit warmer today, Nick.
Yeah, not too much so, Chris, where it didn't feel too warm for this fall day in the middle of October. We kept things pretty quiet from 7th and Rangeline all day long and all across the region. That allowed us to go from a cool start in the lower 40s, 42 at Joplin Regional to be exact, and topping out around 74 degrees. A little bit back above normal, at least in terms of the high, but still not a bad day to wrap up this weekend, especially since we didn't have a single drop of rain or a single cloud to track once again throughout the course of the day, thanks to high pressure now working along the Arkansas-Louisiana state line. As that continues east, that will keep the southerly wind in place and at least keep skies quiet for the rest of the night. And you can see how it won't be quite as cold or cool as the past few mornings have been. Around 49 in Joplin, with other areas in the upper 40s to about 50 degrees. But going throughout the day tomorrow, Chris, that south wind kicks into gear, pushing us back to 74 degrees. We'll see how long this will stick around and when our next chance for rain will work on in here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. Well, calling all superheroes. Super Tam in Carterville hosted an All Heroes event, inviting the community to dress as their favorite superhero. Now, the event allowed our local superheroes dealing with COVID-19 and other work stresses to hang up their capes and enjoy a super flight, which was 6 junior scoops of ice cream. There was also a way to burn off that ice cream with some yoga taking place as well.
So today is a collaboration of two friends with two businesses coming together to celebrate all of our local heroes, a day to give them a little chance to take a break from all of the things that we've been doing and experiencing with COVID and all of the great things that they do for us every day.
This is the first time the two businesses have worked together to honor our local heroes. Well, the 38th annual Pumpkin Run took place today in Carthage. The event featured a 2-mile run and an 8K run, as well as pumpkin prizes, literal pumpkin prizes for the first 40 participants. Now, while the run is good for your body, it also benefits the scholarship fund for the Cerebral Palsy Center. The run was organized by the Joplin Roadrunners Group. And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Private First Class Dale Igems served in the Army in World War II, his hometown, Shell City, Missouri. We're proud to recognize Private First Class Dale Igems, tonight's four-state hero. Remember, to learn more about all of our heroes or to nominate one of your own at any time, all you need to do is log on to your favorite web browser, head over to our website, and that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, still ahead on the KOAM News at 10, the FDA could greenlight booster shots for Moderna and Johnson & Johnson this week, plus the latest on a shooting at a Pennsylvania mall. An FDA advisory panel's recommendation of a booster for the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines could get the green light this week. And Chief White House Medical Advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci delivers some hopeful words about the upcoming holiday season. CBS News correspondent Tom Hansen reports from New York.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says families with fully vaccinated adults could be able to safely spend the holidays together this year.
You can enjoy Halloween, trick-or-treating, and certainly Thanksgiving with your family and Christmas with your families. That's one of the reasons why we emphasize why it's so important to get vaccinated.
And soon, many Americans may be able to boost their defenses against COVID-19. As early as this week, the FDA and CDC could sign off on Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccine boosters. The CDC says less than 60% of the population is fully vaccinated. In Arkansas, a new law will require employers to let workers get around vaccine requirements if they're tested weekly or show proof they carry antibodies for the virus.
The employers are in a tough position. They should have the prerogative to make those decisions, and I support that.
In Chicago, the head of the local police union is urging officers to defy last Friday's deadline to report their vaccination status. The National Guard is standing by in case the city sees a shortage of police officers.
We can fully expect that members will show up, and unless they're told to go home, they need to report for duty.
According to the nation's largest police union, the #1 killer of officers in 2020 and 2021 was COVID-19.
Many of those lost their lives keeping our society safe, serving on the front lines in those dark early days of the pandemic. But now, let us prevent the preventable tragedies.
New York City is debating a vaccine mandate for its police force. The current NYPD vaccine rate is close to 70%. Tom Hansen, CBS News, New York.
The CDC says more than 407 million vaccine doses have been administered so far. Authorities in Pennsylvania are investigating a shooting at a mall that left at least one person injured Sunday. The Park City Mall in Lancaster will be closed until Monday as investigation into the shooting continues. At least one person was seen being put into an ambulance, but the injuries are not said to be life-threatening. Lancaster police confirmed shots were fired around 2:30 Sunday afternoon. Authorities were able to evacuate the mall, and there is no threat to the public at this time. Lancaster police say they will release more information when their investigation is complete. An armed gang in Haiti has reportedly kidnapped a group of U.S. missionaries, including children. A source with Haiti's security force says as many as 17 people were abducted Saturday near the capital, Port-au-Prince. The group was traveling in a bus after visiting an orphanage. An Ohio-based aid group called Christian Aid Ministries confirmed the kidnapping, according to the Washington Post. Spokesperson for the U.S. State Department said late Saturday it was aware of the reports. Kidnappings have surged in Haiti throughout 2021, with numbers rising nearly 300% since July. Haiti has one of the highest rates of kidnapping in the world, with abductions rising nearly 300% since that time. This happens because powerful gangs exploit lawlessness there to try and make money from ransom payments. Well, a little later on the KOAM News at 10, we're going to take a look at how the box office performed this weekend.
But first, we're going to break down how quiet will stay for the next few days and see if any storm systems are on the way this week when we come back. After we had to start the weekend with some leftover stubborn showers early on our Friday, much of this weekend thankfully has been downright good to us, especially considering how we were using this time last Sunday night and last Monday morning to track severe weather working through parts of the area. But this time around, though, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, we kept this view quiet throughout the course of the night and throughout the day. That, with the returning southerly wind, helped us out in the temperature department, especially when it comes to warming things up. After we started in the upper 30s and lower 40s Saturday morning, we made a quick jump back into the mid, even some upper 60s the other day. Thankfully, not quite as cold this morning, but still rather cool, with most of us in the lower to middle 40s. Then we wasted no time sending temperatures back into the mid 70s for this afternoon. 7th and range line, we've kept this view pretty quiet all evening long as well, and that's how it's going to stay as we go through the rest of the night and to get your Monday morning commute started. But as far as the afternoon breakdown, we wasted no time warming things up for sure. It wasn't just dropping that soared into the upper 60s at the noon hour. Everybody made it into the mid to upper 60s. But again, that was just to start the afternoon out. Once we hit the middle of the day, we had anywhere from lower to middle 70s on the Missouri side to mid 70s along 69 and maybe even some upper 70s in our far western counties. So we certainly made good on the promise of Mother Nature to warm things up with quiet skies aplenty throughout the day. And this is a setup that will mean another quick drop in temperatures still ongoing as we go throughout the course of the night. But as long as high pressure is still in control, even though it's going to work throughout the rest of the deep south over the next few days, this will keep us quiet until that next cold front you see working across the western U.S. That's the next system on the way by Wednesday, but it's got a lot of real estate to travel across, and we still got to wait for this upper level low to kick out of the western U.S. Once that sends the front our way, that's when we'll deal with our next shot for rain or storms. In the short term, though, a weak upper level ridge, but strong enough to keep this warming trend going for the next few days and to keep us quiet as we get this new work week and school week underway. You can see how quiet the future track stays throughout the course of the night. That means no worries if you're going to be on the roads late tonight or to get your Monday morning commute back to work and school started. But you want to grab the jacket anyway, because on the average, we'll drop back to about 49 degrees to start the day out with a light south breeze at 5 to 10. Thankfully, though, we keep things pretty quiet once again. Mostly sunny throughout the day, 68 by noon. Afternoon highs topping out around 74 with a south wind of 5 to 15. And that will send most of us again back into mainly the mid 70s for your Monday afternoon. While we keep quiet for Monday and Tuesday with highs pushing into the mid 70s again, our focus will be on the next system out west. It's not a particularly well organized or really strong system per se, but as that upper low scoots off to the north, it is strong enough to push a cold front through. That's going to be our next best shot for any scattered rain or storms. Until it clears out, we'll be quiet to start the upcoming weekend out with lows back in the 60s to about 70 degrees. Then we'll watch for a weak wave along the jet come Saturday and Sunday. That could be another shot for some scattered rain, even a couple of thunderstorms by Saturday and Sunday. In the meantime, though, 74 tomorrow, 76 Tuesday, not bad to start the new work week and school week out for the kiddos, Chris. Then behind Wednesday's storm system, we'll have highs back to 65 and 70 for Friday.
It's a beautiful forecast overall. You know, you mentioned something earlier. You initially called the 40s cold. It just got me thinking, isn't it kind of strange how right now, coming off the warm season, 40 seems cold, but in like 2 or 3 months, 40 is going to seem warm.
Yeah.
Isn't that just so weird how
I'm just thinking back to February as a good example. We thought 40s would be a heat wave after that cold snap we went through.
Exactly. You know, you go from 10 degrees to 40 and all of a sudden 40 is the greatest thing on the earth.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Thank you so much. Turning to sports, rocky start for the Chiefs this season, coming off a 2-3 record in the day.
New week, another opportunity for the Chiefs. They're on the road against Washington. We'll have the highlights and reaction from Mahomes coming up. Plus, the Missouri Southern Lions celebrate a win this weekend, their second in a row. This is the Toyota Sunday Night Sports Feed. After a primetime loss to the Bills at home last Sunday, the Chiefs aim to rebound today on the road against Washington. Kansas City 2-3 on the season. Darrell Williams puts the Chiefs on the board first, charging in from 2 yards out. Besides that, the first half was worrisome for the Chiefs. They had 3 more turnovers to their double-digit season total. They turn it around though. Patrick Mahomes connects with Tyreek Hill over the middle. That for the lead. Then it's Williams again waiting for an opening before carrying it in. Chiefs get it in the end zone once more late in the game. Mahomes finds Demarcus Robinson in behind the defense for the score. Chiefs D keeps Washington off the board the entire second half, and Kansas City wins 31-13.
I think the biggest thing was the guys kept believing in me. I think that was a big thing to me. I mean, Orlando, Travis, Tyreek, all those guys came right up to me and they're like, "You keep being you. Like we know you're competing. We know who you are. Don't let that one thing affect how you play." And you saw it in the second half. I kept doing stuff, kept throwing across my body and doing a lot of different type of stuff because I know those guys believe in me, and I'm gonna keep being that and keep fighting to the end.
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas and Missouri Southern Lions were at home on Saturday, and both teams collected wins. Missouri Southern's Nick Williams hit a 27-yard field goal as time expired to lift the Lions over the Mules. The Lions were very successful in the run game, putting up 320 total yards on the ground, including 136 from Nathan Glades, a career high for the Joplin product. The Lions defense had 2 picks and forced 3 straight punts in the fourth quarter to give the offense a chance to take the lead, and that they did. Missouri Southern picked up its first home win since 2018.
Ever since I got the job, it's been tremendous support from the community, tremendous support from campus. I mean, just great support. And so, you want to give them something. You want to give them something that they can be proud of. You want to give them something they can stay for 4 quarters, they can cheer for 4 quarters. And we did that tonight, and just super proud of them too, you know what I mean? Just sticking with me.
At Kearney Smith on homecoming, Pitt State rolled to a 59-7 victory over Lincoln to get to 5-2 on the season. The Gorillas came out hot, scoring the game's first 24 points. 7 different players scored for the Gorillas in the game, and on defense, PSU held Lincoln to 1 touchdown. Here's PJ Sarwinski's thoughts on getting to see some new faces get some game reps.
I absolutely love seeing those guys out there because, when we're on the sideline, we get a chance to coach them up and learn from them. But just the guys getting in there, they work hard too. They have to do everything we do. They go through everything, and so just to see them get a chance to play is awesome, and I'm happy for them.
That brings us to our one and only break in the Toyota Sunday Night Sports Feed. Still ahead, Carthage senior Haley Bryant returns to state for the 4th time in 4 years. The story next. Welcome back to the Toyota Sunday Night Sports Feed. The Missouri High School Girls State Golf Tournament starts on Monday. A familiar face from Carthage will be competing. Senior Haley Bryant is back for her 4th time. Haley Bryant is a 4-time state qualifier. She's not new to the big stage, but a lot has changed since her first experience as a freshman.
Definitely a lot of growth since then. My freshman year, I was extremely nervous and put a lot of pressure on myself for this, and because it's the highest place you could go. And now I'm just like, this is what I'm here to do. I've been working towards this goal, and I'm just ready to finally achieve it, basically. It's a lot less pressure in my mind now, and just a lot more of me being ready to show people what I can do.
She knows who she is as a ball striker. She knows who she is around the green. She has a trust in herself differently than she may have when she was a sophomore. I think she kind of is comfortable in her own skin with who she is as a golfer.
Bryant placed 8th at state last year. This year, she's aiming even higher.
Honestly, as a senior this year, I'm really just looking to go out there and prove to people how I can play. I kind of just want to go have fun and just see the improvement from my freshman year to now. I'm really looking for that and just to put up a good round if I can.
I think if she leverages her ball striking and puts herself in those positions where she can really attack, I think she could maybe have some of her best rounds coming up.
She has momentum, coming off a Central Ozark Conference title earlier this month.
At conference, I still didn't even feel like I played my best, which definitely pushes me even more. Like, I feel like now I'm ready to actually play my best.
She has a quiet intensity about her with competitiveness. She wants it really bad. She's very driven.
Bryant has accomplished a lot in her career. She's a 4-time All-District performer, 4-time All-Conference performer, and is the first Carthage girls golfer to get All-State recognition, which she earned last year.
After accomplishing a little bit and like some smaller things, now like I've set these bigger goals for myself, and I feel like I'm finally reaching them, and I'm really glad that my last year I could do such thing.
As her high school career nears its end, Bryant is undecided on what her competitive golf future looks like, but she says the thought of stopping stings, and she thinks there's still more she can accomplish. We're back right after this.
Well, James Bond was no match for Michael Myers at the box office. David Daniel has our estimates of the weekend's top 5 films.
God will not punish those who tell the truth.
The Last Duel had a rough first weekend. The historical epic starring Matt Damon, Jodie Comer, and Adam Driver debuted in 5th place with just $4.8 million. The Addams Family 2 made $7.2 million to finish 4th in its 3rd weekend out. Venom, Let There Be Carnage gobbled up $16.5 million for 3rd place and a domestic total of $168 million.
So you're not dead?
Hello, Q, I missed you.
No Time to Die didn't have much time on top. The Bond flick fell to 2nd in its sophomore weekend, earning $24.3 million for a 10-day domestic total of just under $100 million.
Tommy?
A killer debut for Halloween Kills. The latest horror flick in the long-running franchise opened with $50.4 million in ticket sales, even as it also debuted on a streaming service. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Halloween Kills had the best debut for a horror movie since the pandemic began, edging out A Quiet Place Part 2. My wife really loves horror movies. I haven't seen any of the Michael Myers movies. I did see A Quiet Place, the first one.
Watch the original Halloween, the 78 one with John Carpenter directing. It's really
John
good.
Carpenter does make some great films.
I stay far away from horror.
Yeah.
Well,
it's probably good because Michael
we're
Myers...
pretty horrifying.
Yeah, I was like, Michael Myers will no doubt haunt me in my sleep whenever he wants to.
Okay, now I'm not going to watch. I appreciate that insight. I'll take your word on that, Nick. Something that we don't necessarily... Yeah, I guess we do need to take your word on it. This forecast looks pretty good.
Yeah, not haunting by any stretch of the imagination. We'll jump back into the upper 40s tonight. 74 for your Monday, staying quiet to get the new work week and school week started. But down the road, we'll watch for some scattered thunderstorms on Wednesday and maybe some more potential rain by Saturday and next Sunday, Chris.
Still not bad overall. Not
yeah,
bad
temperatures are looking good.
It's an extended period of fall. Danny, sports stuff.
Chiefs have been up and down this season. They get the win on the road today. We'll see if they can string together back-to-back wins now.
I'm hoping they do.
Yeah, I have no idea how the Titans are, but that's who they're going up against next.
It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, hopefully they pull off the win, though.
All right, guys, thank you. That is our time for now. We'll see you back here next weekend. Thanks for making us part of your night.